Why, hello there. That was some good timing with that music ending there. We have another ALttP No Major Glitches League Season 6 match between matt7898 Chexhuman and the Tower Hera division, the highest of our 4 divisions. Let's go ahead and get the game scene loaded, and I will hand it off to Yurak and Clearmouse.
Yo, Yurak, how's it going?
Hey.
Happy NMG Thursday.
That's
Trademark.
right.
And if anyone wants to infringe upon this, I'm sure Spleeby is looking for a new annex in his new home.
Patent pending, maybe even.
Yeah, maybe, but it's all donated to a good cause. Yes, we are kicking off the first week of NMG League. One of the, every match in Tower of Hera division is absolutely bonkers because it's like the cutoff to make this bracket is really, really scary. Yurak, did you know that?
I did know that. I didn't realize you were gonna just throw me under the bus like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you know what? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw.
No.
I'm gonna just throw Chex under the bus because if it wasn't for him and his like 11th hour, 59-minute, submission, actually to make it into, he literally just snuck like straight in. No one, I think he's even kind of on the fence about joining NMG League this season. But you know what? Everyone's happy. We got a really great match. We got Matt versus Chex. Absolute veterans of NMG. I believe their attendance record has been pristine throughout the entire set of the seasons. So really great to see them back in Season 6.
Yeah. No, everybody in... Like, the fact that it's a 125, low 125, in this case, 125-16, as the cutoff to make it into the top bracket, is saying a lot in terms of, like, how God, what's the word I'm looking for here? Right, just how competitive the qualifying has gotten.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive to see everybody being, everybody's kind of bringing their A game to league now, and it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool to see.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. I mean, in fact, the cutoff for. I mean, I know maybe it's a little bit, like earlier dated, in that, especially when you first kind of start getting into the speed run, right? You go for like the sub 100, right? So sub 100 minutes, that's like a really good milestone to kind of go for. And then, like the more better known milestone, I guess, is like the sub 90, you get the hour 30, right? And then from there, instead of going on like the kind of like 10-minute increments, it's more of like, now you're going on like the, more of the minute increment, right? You get your 129, you get your 128, you get your one, and like every minute is just exponentially harder, especially when you get down to, well, in this case, what we didn't even think was possible was 122. Here we are, 2024. We have a 122, but I mean, like the cutoff for Tower of Hera this year was a low 125. Like that's bonkers, that? Like for qualifiers and for PBs, like it's just like so many people. I mean, it's natural, right? So many people, because this game's been along for quite some time. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into trying optimizing this game and the speedrun. And you just see people yourself very much a prime example, Yurak, of just how people like. I watched you go from post like over 90 minutes to sub 90, and now you also have a 124. Like it's ridiculous how many
right,
people are regardless.
This game. The level of activity in this game over the last few months has stepped up a lot, and I'm thrilled about that. We've got some new people in the community that have been here for a few months and have joined League as well, and it's great to see that. But like you were saying, the leaderboard, the thresholds of achievement on the leaderboard have just risen to such high degrees. Like you said, trying to get top 100. I think that was in years past, top 100 was you could have a 130 and probably be top 100 a while, not too long ago. I guess it was a little bit, but now you get a 130 and you're probably top 2.
Yeah, how ridiculous that is.
Yeah, a lot more people have come into this community. Yeah, it's great to see.
Oh, for sure. I mean, despite this game being, obviously, it was developed in, the early 1990s, Sync here coming out of Escape, but I mean, it's just really great to see, this game has such longevity. This game, I think, has actually it has a lot of staying power, hasn't really aged all that much. I would say, it actually aged probably one of the best games, probably across a lot of, the Zelda series, even, I don't want to throw any other, Zelda games under the bus, but I mean, this one I think has really, withstood the test of time, right? You have
Yeah,
so
the
many
fact
people.
that it's going
Yeah.
on 33 years old and
Mhm.
people are still, we're still getting new people playing the game is definitely a testament to just how good of a game it is.
Yeah, yeah. You talk about like new people, coming in, and as you mentioned, really great to see. In this case, NMG League Season 6 actually has enough people for 4 whole divisions, and really got to see in this case, Tower of Hera is certainly the ones at the top of the leaderboards. Chex and Max.
I didn't realize Max was running.
Max is real comfortable in the back of Chex's bed. Just kind of chill out there. His little
Holding the fort down.
Yeah, his little cheerleader. But like these guys have been running NMG for at least I don't know how many years at this point, multiple at this point, and we actually can see that the game also, while it is a speed run, these guys have been, they haven't gotten sick of it, right? They're still progressively improving. Really got to see, I know that Matt, I think sometime, was it last year maybe, had gone through, he went through his 125 to 124 grind, right? And he was just really dedicated, right, to be able to, try and get himself a new PB. And look at him now, like 120, then 124 already. It's just nuts.
Yeah, Matt's been crushing it, right, lately. I guess we should talk about the runners that are actually in this race a little bit. Matt's had, what, probably 3 PBs since then, I think now?
Yeah. I mean, so certainly the 124, 125 breaking, into 124 was certainly like the major milestone. But I mean, like that's not to discredit any of the other 124 improvements that he's had. And like I said, every single second, half a minute, half a minute, any amount of incremental time above, anywhere where you are, it just becomes just so much harder in order to get, right?
Yes, for sure. It is. This game is difficult like that.
Yeah, and of course Chex, also making the leaderboard. His PB is also, thanks so much VSR for posting this. PBs are within all just about 20 seconds, apart from each other. But I mean, the fact that they both have a 124 time, it really goes to show you just how good these guys are, at the game. Ranked 15th and 27th.
Yeah, and the level of consistency too, right?
For sure, yeah.
Because we did have to qualify for these brackets, and so to be able to just knock out some low 125s or even some 124s. I can't remember what Matt's qualifying time was. I think he did get a 124. And then Chex snuck a 125 15, excuse me, in there. Like you said, literally right. In the nick of time.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think qualifiers ended like Friday night or something at midnight Eastern, and I think his submission was literally like 11 p.m. or something ridiculously close. So,
like by the time Chex's run was finished, nobody else could even start another run to get a submission in time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, but I mean, as long as you're given the time, Chex, I'm very happy in this case that Chex was able to make it through the season. And like I said, like these guys, I think have been participating in, I want to say, every single league season. There might be one that was missing for one of them. I really do think that they were all present, all 6 of them, even the Miller preset one. So just really great to see in this case the consistent playing.
Yeah, it's hard to remember because it's been like across like multiple divisions and all of the different seasons and all of that, and even, multiple games. But I do want to say they've been in all of them.
Yeah, when you talk about actually multiple games, so I know and part of the thing, being, as you mentioned, staying consistent. While NMG in this case does have its own set of skills, text boxes maybe as part of it, as you might think, like text mashing. There is Chex and Max are extremely active in terms of like the rando scene. Maybe more, maybe less often. I think maybe now like in maybe the last like half a year or something like that. But Chex is of course certainly very well known for the glitched community. I think he does. Do I keep calling him Max? I'm sorry, Matt. I'm sorry. Matt, I will enunciate my T's every single time. Thanks, VSR. Yeah, but I mean, Chex, you've seen him, dominate a lot of glitch tournaments, and do, all sorts of, wacky shenanigans. Matt, of course, participates in lots of, less glitched modes, so they've been playing, a lot of this game, just in general. So it really does keep, help stave the rust off.
Yeah, I would classify Matt as more of a conventional rando player, but that's still a highly competitive activity.
Oh,
that community can be pretty cutthroat on its own.
Yeah, I mean there is, I think, like the main tournament, the ALttPR rando league, cross keys, door, whatever, all that stuff. All those skill sets carry over, right? So it's really good to see in this case. But it's really hard to beat the fundamentals of NMG, right? Getting through escape, and I think at this point Chex and Matt have both honed their endurance for pumping, and boostless execution for the first 11 minutes of the run, right? And I think that's about they're willing to tolerate, especially for something like this.
Yeah, I give them that. It's there's a lot of I'll be as bold as to say underappreciated movement tech in the first two splits of this game.
You know what? I believe that you are correct. In that the boots are so powerful in terms of movement, and that sometimes it is sometimes difficult to focus. I would say on more of the fundamentals, as you mentioned, right? Especially going through escape. Both of them, certainly did very good job, but all of the movement then that you do is much more amplified, right? You don't have hook shot, you don't boost, you don't flute, you don't have any of these like things that kind of can try and if you want to cut a corner or two, maybe you get a little bit sloppy, it does, you kind of can mask it, right? With some other movement items, but if it's just you and the D-pad, not much really else you could do, other like you just kind of like everything else is obviously.
Yeah, it's interesting to see when there's the game. Right, the escape sequence is like the tutorial level of the game, and it doesn't give you a lot of like difficult challenges to face like right off the bat. It's just giving you enough stuff to like understand the core gameplay loop. To borrow the phrase from like the RPG community, like it shows you the ropes and it gives you a few obstacles to overcome, and then a handful of tools to get through that, and then once you're once you take that and put it into like a speedrunning context, the things that the options available to you to really like maximize your efficiency, because that is the kind of the core challenge posed to speedrunners, right? Becomes a lot more streamlined, and you just have to take advantage of these movement techniques, and pumping itself is really just like an exploit of a quirk of the physics engine of the game, the way that it calculates subpixels and whatnot, and we take advantage of that. And the end result is like, oh, we have this movement tech that is, like you said, less robust than later movement tech, such as hookshotting various things or using the boots, or in our specific case with the glitches of spin speed and item dashing and fake flippers and all of that. But like that is the challenge that is presented to you when the only thing you have is how quickly you can walk from one point of the screen to the other.
Yeah. I guess to kind of maybe boil things down. Maybe I mean, it basically is like how fast can you go from one side of the screen to the other, right? There might be a couple obstacles along the way. For example, these skulls apparently just love to chase you. So maybe it'll kind of like slow you down from the maybe like direct pass you want, but I mean you're absolutely correct though. Whatever tools you have to use at your disposal, it is only to your advantage to try and take advantage of it, right? So
exactly.
So stuff like pumping, it's not like the most glamorous as you mentioned, but it is tech that is available to you, and you certainly hope that you don't have to do it the entirety of the run, but I get 11 minutes out of it.
Lucky for us, boots are right around the corner. We don't have that problem. That's right. We don't have a problem in this speedrun.
Yeah,
it's not like a bootsless seed.
Oh my god. Oh man, this game I think would be horrendous. Honestly,
I don't think
without
I could
the
do
boots. Yeah. I mean, I think that's also just part of the game design. Is that you mentioned before, right? Escape, Eastern, even for that matter, kind of shows you the ropes. Well, we got some really nice quick Armos kills on both sides here. I think Matt was also doing the Pika strat, but yeah, really clean Eastern. On both sides here. Yeah, what I was gonna say. I mean, so like with Escape, right? And Eastern, you eventually get a sense of like appreciation, for like, man, I really would like to move faster, but you know what? You are in luck because it is 11 minutes, and that means we're gonna go literally turning the corner, right? And we're gonna go get our boots.
Tutorial over. We did the thing.
Yes, we did do the thing.
To paraphrase some rando people. Game is playable now.
That's right. That's right. We just got to get past, just a little bit of a medium talk. I say medium. Never mind. I forgot how long this text block actually is. Because I was thinking, the text box that Hospital at first tells you, when you come off the pyramid after you beat Aga 1. That one's a pretty long one. But, actually, this one is also pretty long, too. I didn't realize how long it was until...
Given... If we're factoring in things like crystal cutscenes and stuff,
okay,
I would say
mm-hmm.
the Saha text boxes are pretty medium.
Okay, yeah, all right.
It's definitely longer than like pretty much all of the rest of the non-crystal text boxes.
Like the pendant ones are pretty fast, right?
Yeah, all the pendant ones are 1. All the like in-game cutscene, I think they top out at like 4. And so. Yeah, Saha's like the longest like remaining thing.
Yeah, he probably just wants. He's like, oh no, okay, hurry up! Like you can go pull the Master Sword out of the Lost West soon. Oh, sorry if that was a spoiler. Fun fact: we're gonna go and try and go to the next pendant dungeon. In case you guys haven't seen the rest of this game. Man, this again, I think I mentioned this before in some of the other NMG races, but man, especially when you have 2 people such as Closey's skill in this case, as Chex and Max with their PPs pretty closely. Man, I mean, just feel like appreciate the sync, right? And just how close these guys are to each other all the time. It's just so pretty to see.
Yeah, it was insane to watch them get I think the books were like close to synced. It was great. It is impressive to see once they start getting synced up and jockeying for who's technically in the lead. Like it is cool to watch. It's cool to watch the screen side by side and see who can like eke just like handfuls of frames out. Frames add up to seconds.
Yeah, that's right. And
it's really crazy to think about. It's hard to see like everybody when they come into this game and they start learning it and they're like, man, like I'm having a lot of fun doing this, but like I don't see how I'm losing literal minutes to like top runners. And it's like, no, yeah, you don't. It's hard to see that you're only losing like. I mean, you can see like losing like a couple of seconds on a screen or whatever, but like once you learn like the basics of like what you're doing for like every like the macro level strats for every split. Like, you're like, how am I losing time? And if you watch 2 people side by side, it's really easy to see. It's like, oh, well, there's 10 frames there, there's 20 frames there. And soon enough, it adds up to, like, a whole second ahead.
Yeah, well, the fact that it's like 550-some screens, right? They kind of go through the entirety of the game. And even if you just, take one, let's say, like, split, right? I mean, you have tens and tens of basically rooms you have to go through. And yeah, you mentioned before, right? You save 5 frames here, you save another 2 frames there, and then suddenly, those frames, add up to, once they add up to 60, that's a whole, that's the whole, like, a lot of time. So, kind of, in this case, we're going through Desert Palace right now. It looks like we got a little bit of bad RNG from the cannonball, but I mean, it's kind of like stuff, especially being Light World, when you have I would say a bit more maybe prominent RNG like as a factor for your movement. It is going to be just a little bit, as you mentioned, kind of like back and forth, right? Probably not too much time you can really try and like game out the system.
Yeah, I expect the most jockeying we're going to see in at least outside of like boss fights, right? Because that's that's where the complexity goes through the roof. Like just little bits of like micro optimizations here or there, one player gaining time over another.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can see in this case like the Armos fights, while it does look very clean, very elegant, both well done by both runners. All these things, when they make something look easy, you're like, oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I can do that. Let me try this home. It does take a lot of practice to be able to do something this cleanly. Talking about practice, we are actually coming up for the second, arguably, maybe in Chex's mind is the third boss, Ball and Chain being the first one.
Yeah, that's a fair statement to make, in my opinion.
Yeah, speaking of practice though, this fight definitely is probably one of the
wonderful RNG on Matt's side. Not too bad. Not too bad for Chex. Handles the diverging popos pretty well, I think.
Yeah, but in this case, he does get a little body though, going up to try and get the pot key for Desert, so it can slow him down a little bit. Always great to see. 4 torch shots to light 4 torches.
That's right.
You'd be surprised on how difficult sometimes that can be to light up stationary objects.
Oh,
When
yeah,
you're
you
trying to
don't
go
wanna-
fast, dude. Like it.
Every
I mean,
single
things
time you
happen.
use the lamp, that's an extra 4 frames that you're standing there at the end of the split. So.
All right, Matt, first one in. Let's see how in this case how Lambos treats him. Pretty decent first cycle. X is it's okay. Everything's fine. Might be having a little bit more of a party here, although his second cycle is looking pretty good. Aw, I think Matt just missed that.
Just a little bit off. Oh, did we get the same? We got the same positions. Okay.
Nice.
Chex
nice.
cleans up. Yeah, it looks. I think Matt's was that an early 4?
It looked like an early 4. Because I think he just barely missed the 3. Chex's last land most was also very fortunate to kind of stay in the air a little bit longer to not force him an extra cycle. So.
Yeah, I think that was like a mid 4 based on the timing.
Oh no, Matt!
Not bad. This is why we get Sankard.
Yes, that's exactly why we get Sankard. For what it's worth, I don't necessarily think that he would maybe worried about the health. I mean, although health is actually pretty important as we kind of make our way up to Death Mountain in the Tower of Hera. But man, getting knocked out of the dash is also kind of sucky.
That accidental up slash, not fun to. Once you do anything that like knocks you out of your like usual strat, it's just like all bets are off.
Yeah.
How well can you flail?
That's right. I mean, so for what it's worth, I think given the experience of both Chex and Matt, like how, I mean, part of having in this case like a 124 time or or even like 125 whatever, you mentioned about consistency and being able to recover, right? Like if part of on the journey to whatever 12x that you have so far, you are bound to have many a disaster, and however you can like salvage the run, save whatever split you're trying to do is. You can probably try and recover, as best as you can, right? And that means not panicking and see if you can maybe do something like backup strat in case something happens, right? And you gotta play well.
Yeah, the fastest way to play this game is to not die.
Yes, I wholeheartedly approve. By the way, and speaking of not dying, both of them did do the fake flipper, did not get fooled. Matt really taking no chances from that dead rock. Wow. Maybe he was after a vendetta. Yeah, because that dead rock was like all the way to the left, and Matt still went after him.
I don't think we're gonna see any Requiem boomerangs here. Are we? We have spin speed. Oh man.
Oh no. Oh.
Okay. All right. This is fine.
Okay. So
see, just like that, Chex is within a second now.
Yeah. I mean, I also don't know how Matt like basically just weave through those boulders. I mean, like. But he didn't get hit, so.
Yeah, that's it right there. Is like just learning how to deal with the chaos and adversity, and not bleed like tons and tons of time trying to get through that screen. That screen is really really hard to consistently do fast.
I feel like you can probably say that for what it's worth about every screen, but I think Death Mountain, any type you have boulders and dead rocks, I very very much, even more so believe you.
All 3 times you go to that screen, it's a pain in the butt. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm talking about though, although so it looks like actually Chex seemed to have escaped Death Mountain overworld unscathed. He has all 6 hearts. Matt, unfortunately did take a hit from the Sandman in Desert, and then he also of course took a hit from the whatever dead rocks or anything. So I mean, going into facing Muldorm and the upper part of Tower of Hera looks actually looks pretty safe, at least for the time being. I would be kind of worried if, in this case, they both, as you mentioned, if something did go terribly awry in Death Mountain Overworld and they're here with like 1 or 2 hearts, it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, it's nice to say. I think we actually are pretty close to synced here.
Yeah. I think Ben also had a little bit of a fight with the gatekeeper Mini Muldorm on the way to the basement. I mean, that guy is also a pretty big jerk.
Splash that Stalfos out of the way.
That's right.
What a jerk.
Has there been a not jerk enemy, out of curiosity, that we have faced so far?
No.
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
Oh,
That was
no!
my no checks. We're having too much of a party.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, it's okay. We just lost a little bit of time, on the beetle. Matt, certainly did a very nice job of being able to, have a fluid movement, right, to slash the beetle using the ricochet to kind of slash the swish to coming back. All right, so we're gonna use the old Hera bomb jump. We don't need to, do the developer intended way of going all the way up one floor, hitting the star switch, falling back, and then running back up again. No. Apparently, we can just, damage boost ourselves over a pit with a bomb. Don't try that at home, kids. I mean, like, you can try it in the video game, but don't actually try it at home, like in real life. That's nothing can
blow
go
yourself
well from
up.
that.
Yeah. We don't have any evidence that there's a dark world in our universe, so don't go trying to find any moon pearls.
True. That's true.
Especially not, blowing yourself up to find it. That's not good.
That's right.
All right, Chex. I like that menu.
Oh, all right. Well, let's see.
That was
all right,
clever.
well,
That was clever. Using the menu to guarantee the quick hop down the ledge because the Moldorm was right there, and if you have your sword out, it's just bad news.
yeah.
I am
actually
impressed. That was a really nice heads up play use of the menu there.
Yeah, and honestly, like with MG, especially I guess if you kind of compare it to like more of the rando scene, more and more, people kind of adopted quick swap as the, as like the default, right? Oh my gosh, dude, just more jerks on the dead rocks. Like I understand why Matt went all the way over to the left side to like hit that, the first one. Should have done the same thing with this one. And Chex, just smooth sailing, It's like an easiest, upper level Waffle House that, just.
I wish we had that option. Matt forgot to. Oh, there we go. Okay, all right. I was just about to say Matt normally in his PB attempts does what's called an early bomb jump for in Tower of Hera, and you use the menu to bow to ensure that you're positioned correctly for the bomb jump itself. And he made it all the way here without that menu, but remembered, especially before getting to Aga Tower, where we need the bow. The last thing you want to do is just like wave the lantern at one of the golden guards.
Yeah, that fire source doesn't really do much. It's not very intimidating, Better just
Really
pull out the
isn't.
bow to be safe.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, you talk about Matt doing an early bomb jump. Yeah, I think you're right. And actually, I think for the longest time, he was kind of, I want to say he was kind of against early bomb jump. Said he wouldn't do it, too unreliable, and then, I think he hasn't stopped doing early bomb jump.
So he does it a lot more than I do, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. So just seconds ahead of Chex, Matt pulled out the Master Sword and looking like, okay, so I believe Matt's damage was in Death Mountain. So he unfortunately still doesn't have beams, but I believe he has all the enemy kills necessary in order to pull the tier 3 rupees, in this case for 80.
He should, yeah.
That's, yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to try and get another heart somewhere if he wants to try and maybe take a little extra time, because having Sword Beam certainly is very helpful and makes things go a lot faster. Probably also a bit more safer if you want to try and preserve like the Fairy and Turtle Rock from the enemies. But I also don't know if it's worth Matt's time to do that. Like,
it does take an unexpected amount of time to try and farm hearts in this game. Like you lose a lot more time than you would think doing it. Like you can get right here in the castle warrior, you can get RNG that's like nice for that. Doesn't look like Matt. That was probably too far away. Like once you slash the guy and then go find the heart, like you're just goodbye. Like 2 or 3 seconds at that point.
all right,
it's just really not worth. So we're probably fine. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
There's there's pretty cool backup here where you hit that guy. Oh, we're gonna do something different. Oh no.
Did we also take a hit? Oh no. Oh no. My arrows. Matt's arrows. Not my arrows.
Oh yeah,
we're
our arrows are not.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Okay.
But at least we have full health now.
That's right. Thank you for seeing the bright side of things. Okay, nobody panic on Matt's behalf. Everything's fine. We are just going to wrap the price pack around on Matt's side. all
Nothing
there is
can
to
go
it.
wrong in Turtle Rock.
That's
It's
exactly
totally fine.
correct. Exactly correct. But you know what? Matt made up for it because he had a chest turn. You got the one chest turn that actually ends up, helping him out because you can use a light cone to kind of read the guard RNG. I'm scared. No, I'm not scared. Matt has a 124. He is a very capable person. He is not afraid of the dark or rollers or pokies or whatever in Turtle Rock that can bite him. Chomps.
Sometimes you just don't even get drops. You just have to deal with it.
True, exactly. That's right. This isn't Matt's first rodeo. It's probably not even his like 100th. You're probably way past that.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, all the different enemies in this game are members of what we call prize packs, where they have very specific drops. Each prize pack has like a set order of things. I think they're all 8 different items.
Yeah, they're all
long.
8. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so like every single time you kill an enemy, with a few exceptions, you have a 50-50 shot of either getting an item, getting a drop or not, which advances the prize pack to the next one. And it just so happens that those blue guards that we saw in that room where Matt got his fairy is part of a special, like, large variety item prize pack that includes that fairy that is very useful in Turtle Rock, where everything deals 4 hearts of damage, and we like to use that fairy pickup as like a buffer to make the dungeon a little safer.
Yeah, that's very well explained, Yarok. Yeah, and again, like as you did mention before, just because so Chex certainly has done probably the more expected route. When things go well, situation, we in this case preserve the prize pack so we don't advance it. But that being said, it is only 50-50. You can get also unlucky. It's just that if you don't advance the prize pack now, it gives you more of a chance to try and get something later. But that being said, though, again, Matt can also get kind of lucky and advance the prize pack so much that he can just get a fairy later. That's what I'm gonna tell myself before we get to Turtle Rock. Okay. All right. Okay. So we are, of course, VXR has put a very nice prediction in chat to see how many blue balls we have. Matt, I think maybe hasn't had anything, I would say, super notable in League in terms of blue balls. He is up against the infamous and notorious Chexhuman, who has set a record of 11 blue balls in a League race. Let us hope that will not come to fruition today. Although Matt's really kind of racking things up here. And Chex. Should we not say something?
I haven't said a word yet. I'm just counting.
Okay. How high are we up? Have I run out of fingers? Have you run out of fingers yet to count?
I'm at 4 and 3.
Okay.
So Chex is going to get 3. And then Matt hopefully will be... Hopefully he's done. We are done. Okay.
Okay. Super. Yeah. So
that's about the best you can hope for. So Matt was like 2 or 3 seconds ahead going into the fight. Comes out about the same behind. Not bad.
Yeah. I mean, while it's a little bit higher than I guess the quote unquote like average or normal number of blue balls that you can get. Because I think 3 is probably the expected number. However, though, like that being said, whether you get 3 or 0 or 11, or all 15 in this case, long as both runners get it, like that's kind of like the best
equanimity
case
is
scenario.
important for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, because as you mentioned,
we hate to see races that are essentially decided a third of the way through by blue ball RNG, because if you get 7 blue balls and you're 45 seconds behind, like it's just difficult.
Yes, yeah. It is certainly not okay. Maybe depending on the blue ball gap, it can maybe be an insurmountable. Okay, I don't want to say anything because we are here in the dark world.
It's not over, but it certainly takes a lot of the it certainly takes a lot of the competitive spirit out of the event, because now the winner is just like on cruise control, like just don't die. You have a lot of time to play with, and the winner is taking a lot of risks to try and like make up the deficit. And unless there's a considerable skill gap, like it just becomes a lot less of a race than it was before.
Yeah, that's really true. Okay, we also got a little bit of traffic here on Matt's side.
Nice job on Matt's side dealing with the unfavorable RNG. If you get hit during this whole like Kiki escort section, you have to go find the monkey all over again, and you lose the 10 rupees that you invested at the start of it, which is because we do the speedrun on such tight margins is essentially the end. Like unless you get lucky with more of those the rupee drops from any of the ropas that are out there threatening you on the overworld, like you're basically just done.
Yeah, I guess like, at least for this particular situation, the fact that Matt has 9, he does have the boomerang. We do know that the stun prize is 1 rupee. I mean, I think he can salvage, but yes, I think in general, depending on the kind of the luck you've gotten so far,
yeah, sometimes you're at like exactly
yeah.
110, and if you get hit, then that's just game over because it's real hard. There's not a lot of spots in the rupee prize pack where you get back-to-back blue rupees, and you only have a 25% chance of that happening anyway. So it's real rough out there.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, the alternative, well, is just you hope in this case you just play well, and, you know, or, you know, so you got some maybe favorable RNG. So the good news about this run in general is that, like, in order to, if everything does kind of go correctly, and, you know, as things go more correctly more often, the better you get at this game, is that you really don't need, I think, that many, like, randomly, you know, random drops, I guess, you know, that, you know, to kind of have luck go your way, right? I think I want to say you need, like, maybe, like, 4 drops total, 4 rupees. Like, you know, in the entirety of the light world, something like that. And otherwise, you know, even if you don't get that, you can try and get like pots or, you know, other things that you know, try and farm out a little bit more money. But that's also one of like the really nice things is you only need a little bit of like a game luck to kind of go your way, and otherwise everything else you just kind of make up on your own skill.
Yeah, there's 101 rupees. Yes, there's 101 rupees routed into the run pretty standardly. You can get an extra 5 in the first tree pull, but we try not to do that because it's slow. So that just leaves you with 9 rupees. 4 is the absolute minimum because obviously you can just grab that other blue rupee. But like optimally, we just want 9 rupees, which you can get almost incidentally. Sometimes you get unlucky and you have to go find a pot with a blue rupee in it or something like that.
Yeah. I think you're right, though. Normally there are a lot of, like, you know, just random, you know, popos that are just dropping things for you. You know, Eastern, right? You got a lot of chances for that stuff. All right, well,
it's pretty clever how we routed all that stuff in.
Yeah. All right, so I would say, like, overall though, Chex actually had a very, very smooth pod, very smooth hammer yump. I don't actually think he had any extra buffers, actually, which was, you know, quite impressive. I think Matt maybe had 1 extra, maybe 2, I'm not sure. Chex is going into the back here with 0. You know what? We almost matched parity with Matt here.
Had to get arrows because he
true.
0.
That's, you know what? Okay. Fun fact is, you know that you need at least 1 arrow to advance into the back of pod. That's why pod is bow locked. By the way, you need the bow to beat Helmasaur.
That's right. You need the bow to get there.
Yeah. Of all things, you know.
Is that actually accounted for in the logic? Like, if you just don't have the bow, like in keys modes, if you just don't have the bow, does it care about that last key? Because you can't spend it without the bow.
I believe Helmasaur is locked by 6 keys, so.
True. I guess there's nothing in between there, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Would be interesting though if there were like a chest that you could access with.
Yeah, maybe.
Without that key, but like with the bow, I don't know. Don't mind me.
Yeah. We're here.
I'm just meaninglessly pontificating. All right, so the Helmasaur fight.
Yeah, well, right. So Chex got an early start. We've at least gotten some fireballs on his side. Maybe oh my gosh. Okay, so Chex is really being pretty aggressive here, but you know that's why we have the extra health. We have the extra sand cart. We could afford another hit on his side, but
oh man, what a beautiful fight on Matt's side. Easy game. No.
Definitely look very much favorable on Matt's side. But you kind of haven't seen this case. Checked a little bit of extra time on Helmasaur, and I think Matt actually made up probably a little bit of time on that boss fight.
I do think he did make up a little bit of time because there were lots of like crab-like movements on Chex's side that I was.
Yeah, and we also have some fireballs on Chex's side as well. So I mean, so the fireballs themselves like don't, I think, hinder really Chex. It's just in terms of like Helmasaur progression, but it does lag a little bit. You kind of have to like now maneuver around him a little bit. You know, like it's all this stuff kind of is you can't just basically go straight for him anymore. We don't like fireballs here on Helma.
Yeah, they get in the way. Cause problems. They take 2 hearts.
Yeah, as demonstrated on Chex's side, when he really was pretty aggressive, trying to ram Helmasaur down with a hammer. But really, actually great to see. I think they both do spin speed, Helma. So basically, trying to activate spin speed so you can use the hammer to offset the hammer's hitbox. You get a better range, so you can do temper sword damage with the hammer, as opposed to just the master sword spins or slashes.
Yeah, because like trying to get in the second phase, like trying to get good hits on the boss is tricky. I don't know what they intended you to do. Fire arrows at it or something?
Yeah, I guess know. Yeah. I mean, well, you get the
slash it
bow and hammer
times with the sword.
I assumed it was maybe. Yeah, I have no idea.
Who knows? We found a better strat, and that's what we did.
That's right. That's right. All right, so we're actually going to go through now, probably arguably one of the longest sections in the overworld for Dark World. We have to run. Okay, so right, this category says that by the rule set, you cannot save and quit. So anytime we have to go from one part of the map to the other without any type of better movement item that we're gonna dig up momentarily, we are gonna have to run. And thank goodness for that. It's actually running, not walking, because no one wants to walk all the way from Pod all the way here to the Dark Grove.
Literally the other side of the map.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this is the longest overworld section in the entire game. It is pretty fun. It's got some neat stuff to it. It's got arguably the best spin speed screen in the whole game, because we've all established that Death Mountain is terrible and it doesn't count.
That's true. That's true. I mean, would you consider the spin speed to be like requisite? Because it seems like you kind of need that speed to get past that red guard right there, right?
It's requisite in the sense that without doing it, you're losing close to 5 seconds.
5 seconds? Are you serious? That's a lot of time for one screen.
It is a lot of time to get through that screen without it. Because you have to think you've got like, it's at least 3 dashes, which is a second and a half, and then there are some walking segments, and then you have to like beat the red guard off with a sword, and that just wastes more time. So it's quite a bit. Not doing spin speed is it's painful.
I guess yeah, you're right, because like the spin speed gives you not only like the speed, but you also don't have to like pause and like restart your dash every single time you want to turn, right? And then also that red guard is like completely on you, because well, he is one of Ganon's best employees.
He just goes fast. Here. I don't understand why.
Yeah. He knows the value of boots. That's all I can say. So right. Sometimes it's hard to fault employees who really have the same core values as you. It just happens to be that they're working for the other side.
Yeah. It is the nature of things sometimes.
Both of them also knew where to dig the first time to go get that flute. Very proud of them for. I feel like they probably played the game before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but coming into Thieves Town, unscathed, always a good sign to see. And, for what it's worth, like so Chex and Matt also did a very nice job on the overworld. For better, they did not get lotteried, by any of the Ropas, by any of like the Snapdragons, on accident. You do the dashlines correctly, there even is still could be a chance you just get randomly hit by Ropa, and you just take 2 hearts damage for no reason. And you're just very sad because you obviously would just like the hits. Everything the Dark World you mentioned, before does a lot of damage. 2 hearts, 2 hearts from Helma, 2 hearts from that Zyzak. You don't really want to be in a position where you're suddenly, facing, a very RNG heavy Hellway on, let's say, like 3 or 4 hearts, and then you're just, scared.
Yeah, especially if the RNG's bad and you just kind of can't get through the screen without losing either a lot of health or a lot of time. Sometimes both.
Sometimes both. You are absolutely correct.
Chex handled it pretty well. Didn't get the best RNG, but I think he handled what he had pretty well. Matt's doing the same. Matt's handled his excellently.
Yeah, that was a really nice
backup
stretch. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, like there are going to be parts of the run where it's going to be a little bit more RNG heavy. That hallway is a very infamous, example. Sometimes, depending on even if you land on the correct pixel, I guess they call it the God pixel, and you dash up correctly, you can still get bad luck from the enemies and not be able to make the dash. Speaking of 3 hearts, we're okay, right? Yeah, no one's panicking.
I think so. Yeah.
We are not dying, Chex. Do not believe that, okay? Just pretend that you're going to keep living.
Chex is like, what?
Chex is like, what? Do not believe that, okay? Just pretend that you're going to keep living. Do not believe that, okay? Do not believe that, okay? Just pretend that you're going to keep living. Okay? Just pretend that you're going to keep living. We are not dying, Chex. Do not believe that, okay? Just pretend that you're going to keep living.
The
Oh my
Zazak was
gosh,
nice
dude,
to
how
us.
did
Everything is fine.
how did that
There are
Zazak not turn
hearts
up?
coming up if we really, really need them. Matt just brazenly just going through and defying the Zazak there.
I mean, it's like when you're not on one hit KO. Well, Chex is not on one hit KO, right? He can take one more hit, but you know you can actually see like the confidence level and like the comfort, right? Matt can take probably 2 or 3 hits at this point and still be okay. You know, and that means that he can afford to be aggressive. He can afford to play as he would normally. You know, if he takes a hit, he takes a hit, just keeps going, right? But Chex, yeah, you know, once you introduce that little bit of uncertainty, you know, it can definitely ripple. And well, the more comfort you have, the smoother in theory like things are gonna go. And once you kind of get off of your muscle memory, your comfort zone, things become much less predictable.
Oh, we're not Zen today. I'm sad.
It's okay.
We got the leftward drift on the conveyor instead of.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. I don't actually know what that's referring to. I just know it's a thing from Yoho.
Okay, alright, so we are here in the scripted fight. Nothing could possibly go wrong when you follow the script. It's like we're baking, you know? Just take the recipe, you know, add in a dash of this, a slash of that, stir for 15 seconds, and then, you know, boom. You know, we got an upper left blind fight.
There we go.
No damage taken, see?
And you were worried.
I was never. Okay, I was a little worried, but okay. Chex, I'm sure he was definitely not worried from being in that situation.
I think 3 hearts is the start of the, at least for me, in
panic?
RTA. Yeah, that's like the beginning of like, all right, I need to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Anything above that is kind of gravy, right? Because now Chex is losing.
Yeah, for sure.
Chex is losing 50 frames or 40 frames on Matt in this cutscene to the health refill. But
dude, I mean, and this is kind of how you can tell when some of these, you know, races are at like the higher tiers. You know, when you're getting to health refills as being kind of the differences, right, between terms of frames or like magic refill, stuff like that. It's like you never would even probably like think about that, you know, as any type of priority, right? Just get through the boss fight. You know, that's kind of all you gotta do. And you make sure you can go on the right dash lines. And then when you're, you know, when you really don't have that kind of like buffer or that much time to spare, yeah, suddenly, you know, your health refill, all that extra time, you know, just little by little adds up.
Yeah, I mean, like in RTA runs, those are always concerns for even people runners at like even like the 127 128 level. They're concerned about like their health refills and whether or not they've like used more magic than they expected and like things, you know, these micro optimizations that we're talking about. But then once you're in a race setting, like a lot of that kind of goes out the window because you're trying to contextualize it to like, well, at least I'm still faster than the other person. It doesn't matter as much. When you're racing at like a higher level, all of those things just come back into play and are like, can I execute a race and not lose half a second to, you know, not only like having a bad blind fight, maybe getting off script or something like that, but then now you're taking extra damage and that's just piling on, adding, you know, insult to injury. And it's impressive to see high level runners go through like and the consistency like part of the equation, just it's on full display here and it's awesome.
Oh no, for sure. And in fact, you know, like
who's getting disqualified first?
Well,
all right, Matt. Matt wins. Here we go.
It was Matt won. Did he technically win by default? Because Chex didn't actually try, I think, for the fence dash.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if Chex dashed to the left by accident.
I also don't know, but he definitely bonked on the tree, and I don't know. You know,
there was no fence dash. Matt is the winner by default. You heard it here first.
Maybe a tree is like, you know, pre-fence, you know, as in like, you know, how are fences made? They're presumably made by some sort of tree that was used to be alive, right? I don't know. But he's so bonked, so yes,
do we know that these fences are wooden though? I mean,
you're right. They are in Dark World. Yeah, you're right. We don't actually know this. Ooh, Chex has a really nice arrow drop here.
Oh gosh, are we good? I think we're good. I think this is fine. Yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually worried that the statue was going to be too far right.
That was the
But-
rightmost pixel that the statue could have been.
Okay, that's good. Good demonstration, though. Easiest room of the game, as
Hey,
trademarked
we're
by
almost even again.
matt7898.
Look at this back and forth. I was a little worried that Ropo was gonna snipe checks there. So now we come to another fun bomb jump. Oh gosh. Chex's health is becoming a cause for concern again.
You know what? He was fine on 3-heart blind. Surely 3-heart moth will just be the exact same thing, right? He's even got experience. See, blind was the warm up on 3 hearts.
Okay.
So he will be absolutely fine. You know, Matt
I'll
also.
trust your judgment on that one.
Yeah, you know, Matt was on. You know, well, so his practice. You know, it was actually easier than the real thing because he had like 7 hearts or something going to blind.
Oh yeah, but now he only has 6. Yeah. You're
Yeah,
right.
exactly. You know, he might be. You know, like he's gonna have to game a little bit here to to kind of make up for his easy practice.
Yeah, we just gotta follow the moth script.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
right,
Moth
today I
definitely
learned-
has a script. Just like any other boss,
it does
it's very
sort
ad
of.
hoc.
It's just it goes off the rails like instantly.
Okay, right. So I think from what I've known before, like the conveyor belt is random movement, right? As in like that's not fixed.
Correct.
Yeah, and then I guess like with the combination of Moth's movement also maybe not being fixed, it can I think be pretty friendly, especially with Temper Sword. You can maybe get like a poke dash in and then 2 slashes, or you can go completely terrible and Moth is just stuck in a corner and then he's just never there. But we'll hope in this case for some good luck from both Chex and
Nice
Max.
folks. That's what you like to see. That's
Okay.
good.
Oh my gosh, beautiful on Matt's side.
Good fight on Matt's side. Chex gets out without taking damage. Always good.
Okay, great job. Yes, that's exactly actually what we like to see. You mentioned before, right? Sometimes it's just about survivability.
Just gets off the
Like-
rails real fast. This is such a
Mhm.
chaotic boss fight.
Yeah. And
Meowski claims it's the worst boss RTA category in existence. Although that might just be because of the loadout.
I mean, I can't not disagree with Meowski on that opinion. I personally have a vendetta against Mothula.
Who doesn't love a 2 hearts fighter sword no boots?
Oh my
moth
gosh.
Fight?
Are you serious? That's okay.
Yep.
All right. That is a category I never want to touch.
Yeah, if you can do the boss fight in under 50 seconds, you're doing real good.
Does Moth get enraged after 50 seconds? Is that what happens?
No, it's just how
or-
long it takes to get 16
my gosh.
slashes or 8 spins.
That's okay. I don't know if I would last 50 seconds, honestly. If you only give me like fighter
my record in
sword.
that fight is 31 seconds.
30. Oh, that sounds terrible.
It's painful.
Mhm.
But we don't have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah,
In fact,
you know
we
what?
are, we're off to greener pastures, or bluer.
Catfish
lagoons?
more pastures. Yeah. I don't know if these pastures are really that much. I guess they're technically greener, probably.
They
It's
are
kind of more
green,
like
actually.
it's more of a dying green, but I guess green is green, right? But yeah, we definitely also have the tempered sword, which so I believe optimally, we actually kind of also saw how long getting tempered sword is, but for consistency, just mentioning before, it takes 16 fighter sword slashes in order to defeat Moth, 8 master sword slashes, and only for tempered is only 4, right? So you really get a lot of the time back, for all of these bosses, and well, the faster you kill bosses, the more consistent, the more reliable your boss fights go, and of course, for Ganon himself, right? The tempered sword saves like a boatload of time.
Yeah, it's all about reducing mean time to completion.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not what is it? It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, right? Even though
Right.
you make time investments into the things that you believe will ultimately save you time. Tempered Sword
right.
is certainly a fan favorite.
I mean, it's just more fun. Just
Yeah,
killing
exactly.
stuff.
That's right.
Being able to kill stuff is more fun than.
Mhm.
Wait, don't clip me when I say that.
Everything will
Statements
definitely
taken
only
out of
be
context.
only in context. No one would ever quote you out of context. But you actually mentioned before, at like 11 some minutes, right? The game is playable, right? The game is Omega playable, with Tempered Sword, because as you mentioned, right? Especially this will be demonstrated a lot in the later dungeons, the later dungeons we haven't been to, but chronologically are still earlier than before. Is a lot of things with Temper Sword just die in one slash because, well, if you were going to progress the game the way that the game kind of initially intended you to, you wouldn't have Temper Sword, so then, things aren't meant to die, in one slash, right? But you come here a little bit overpowered, things will die in one slash.
It's
It
real
is
nice.
very nice.
Like we were supposed to come here as soon as we completed Palace of Darkness, but for obvious reasons, we decided to go do other more beneficial things instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course,
And-
now we're going into the 5th dungeon of the Dark World instead.
Our counting sequences are just a little bit different in Dark World, okay? We don't always have to adhere to the real world ascending order of integers, okay?
It is weird that I just think I see the pattern 1 4 3 5 2 6 7 and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that means.
Should put on like some like math site or something, like the whatever, like the Yurok series, right? Like the Zelda series, right?
I think Fox has a
Fox has
better
it?
claim
Okay.
to that. I believe his splits actually are 1 4 3 2
Oh,
1 4
okay,
3 5
nice.
2 6 7.
Nice. Is that bomb
That's like
gonna
the
hit?
people that put. I've seen. I saw
Wow.
somebody play the original Super Mario Brothers, and they're split. You know how all the worlds are delineated, like
Yeah.
world like 1-1. Their splits were written as if that was a math equation. So like world minus stage, and so their splits were 0 minus 1, 3 2, 7 6 5.
Oh,
4.
nice. I really like people being clever with numbers.
It's like, what do these mean? You'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we were actually, by the way, going through Ice Palace. So this is
We just kind of skipped over like the most infamous bomb jump in the entire run. It's fine.
That thing, has certainly been quite the sequence break, especially in the regular game, because I'm pretty sure if you either did not have Kata Samari, which you're supposed to get in a later dungeon, interesting Sarah clip. Suddenly we're all synced again.
Matt's just running down the banister.
I did not actually know you could still stir clip with that movement, but you learn something new every day about this game and about what you can do and what you can't do.
That's the first time I've seen it facing downwards. I've seen it facing left, and it looks really funny.
Okay, all right. So going into a cold stare fight, it is certainly can be quite dangerous. Good to have full magic though. Looks like reasonable health, so I hope nothing will go wrong for both Chex and Matt.
I love these synchronous boss fights.
Oh, for sure. Oh my gosh, so
Nice job.
pretty! Oh,
There we go.
cow.
Perfect.
Like that is, I think, clippable. It's like almost in sync. Cold stare fights. Chex using his mirror buffer just a little bit, like to try and orient himself a bit more in order to get the last slash in. But man, that was super like sick for both Matt and Chex. Corey, we've gone through almost an hour of this run, and like Matt and Chex are within what, like 10 seconds of each other, 15 seconds of each other.
Oh, less than that.
Less than that? Okay. Like one text box is worth of time, right?
2 seconds or so. Which is amazing.
Especially for a race, right? I mean, when you're in a race setting, especially, like it kind of like it's quite different than if you're just kind of in a PB setting. If you're playing by yourself, right? Even playing with friends, trying to maybe get a better score, time. Something goes wrong, you're just like, I can reset. When something goes wrong, no. Resetting is a very bad idea in a race setting. Maybe unless you get some gentleman's agreement to also let your opponent reset, which I also do not condone, by the way. It's you kind of have to keep going. So the fact that these guys are consistently kind of like just trading blows like back and forth like this. It's just really.
We've seen a couple of lead changes over the course of this run. Oh god.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, the Zero's not hacking us up today, thank goodness.
By the way, I also see that we are foregoing any possible spin speeds in the foreseeable future. We are getting that hook shot as fast as elfishly possible, I guess.
Somebody lied yesterday. This is the second. That's the second double Longmire race. This
Oh,
league.
really? Okay. Oh, is it not supposed to happen? Like, do
I
more people
don't know.
go up the mountain earlier than now?
According to whoever this person was.
Okay.
And I'm not just
All right.
withholding their name out of politeness. I don't remember who it was that said it.
It's all good. It's all good. You know, I mean, certainly, this is more for, I think, runner preference. Especially, probably, Matt has been pretty vocal himself, in even past runs, that he would do as few spin speeds as he possibly can. And so the last one being, you know, the one out of the Smith house in order to go get Temper Sword, yeah, that's
Yep.
probably very happy that he does no longer have to do spin speed. We can just get the hook shot, we do hook speed instead. This sync is very pretty, by the way.
I've recently come around to
Oh my gosh.
to boomer shopping, aka Longmire. Doing hook climbs is pretty nice. And it's not because I don't like I don't mind spin speeds. It's just a personal preference. I think that doing the hook climb is a more, I don't know. I don't remember.
No.
There's a whole. Oh gosh, where are we?
Oh no, it's okay, Chet. We just need a kind reminder from. Are you missing something? The big key, perhaps?
Yeah, it's fun to get that text box.
We were synced for so long. It is
That
okay.
Fire Snake was not having it. Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, so I've personally come around to this shopping route from the decidedly cursed Ether in Swamp and Ice Rod in Mire that almost no one else did. I think one other person I've even seen do it like one time. But that's not because I dislike spin speed. In fact, I actually added another spin speed to make up for it.
I see.
You won't see anyone else do it except maybe Bitey.
I mean, I think for what it's worth, right? Like, there are definitely advantages, right? To, you know, getting the Ether medallion, like, early, you know, before coming here into Swamp Palace, right? Like, Swamp Palace, we're kind of even seeing, in this case, so Matt only taking 100 damage, Chex taking 0 hearts of damage so far. And you know, honestly, like, even we did get hit, you know, once or twice, yeah, even 5, 6, 7 times, I think it's probably okay. You know, every enemy... Well, okay.
What was with that Phelps?
Okay, maybe it's not okay, you know, in terms of time, but, you know, in terms of health, right, you really need 11 hearts. You were expected to come here right after pod, you know, as you mentioned before. We're not supposed to have, like, 4 extra heart containers at this point.
Yeah,
so, you know, all those
7,
stuff. Yeah,
8.
you know, it's fine. You know, you don't actually...
I mean, I guess if you want... This is technically, like, an open world game, right? Like, if you wanted to go get a whole bunch of pieces of heart and have 1 million heart containers, like, that's...
Yeah, that's
an option
true.
that's available to you, but in the speedrun, like, that's just time wasted, so we don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just play. Just, you know, the better you get, like, the fewer safeties you need. And this, honestly, this speedrun, especially in Light World, I mean, Dark World does have, you know, quite the reputation, you know, in terms of, you know, you mentioned before in Turtle Rock, right? Like, everything does 4 hearts of damage. We gotta see, once we hit into Dark World, everything does 2 hearts of damage. But even thinking in the Light World, we saw, you know, we're going all the way to Eastern Palace on 3 hearts, green mail. You know, it's like, even in Escape, when you're facing Ball and Chain Guard, when it does 1 heart of damage, that stuff can add up really quickly. And you don't even have to add up very high. You know, it's just like 1 hit, 2 hits, you're kind of screwed, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And wouldn't you know it, that the only, like, armor upgrade that we have access to is buried in Ice Palace, where we can't really get to it, so we're just like,
that's true.
That's fine. We don't need this. This is fine.
Mm-hmm. So something, actually, you know, despite all that, so Chex and oh my gosh, I cannot see. This is why sometimes, you know, just you get on the wrong side of the lottery and you just end up losing time. It's just really unfortunate with the water tektites. Yeah, but I was gonna say, so like,
Get the pixel.
Matt,
We did get the pixel.
no. Yeah, Matt got a little bit bullied here on left side
okay.
swamp. Oh, but Matt does a very nice Phelps way, not getting hit. Chex says that it was a slight mix-up in the category. I can understand. Chex, in addition to running NMG, does a lot of many other categories.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
zero
but
cycle
Matt got the
from
0
Matt.
cycle. Oh, just Chex took the empty cycle.
Chex
Looks
almost.
like, yeah.
I don't think it was quite the quote unquote empty cycle. I don't know. It's not
Okay.
really an empty cycle once you know where the cutoff is.
Okay, fair,
You know what I
fair.
mean? But
Yeah,
it, like it
yeah.
definitely there's definitely times where it looks like you should have gotten it and it turns out you didn't, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely understand. But yeah, they're very well done on.
You get like the last movement is like a very short, fast one, and you're just like, oh, so I just didn't have a chance. Nope, sorry.
Yeah, we are very impressive on Matt's side though to be able to get a 0 cycle. You know, certainly that will gain him a bit of. Actually, do you know how much time what an extra cycle takes? Like 8 seconds.
Getting the 1 cycle, or rather, not getting the 0 cycle, loses close to 6 seconds.
6 seconds? Okay. I mean, you know, given the fact that we are still like within probably 10-ish seconds, but I mean, 6 seconds is a lot right now.
Yeah, as close as this race has been, 6 seconds is a lot. So we got 101.58 to it's looking like it's going to be 102.05 or 04.
Okay. I mean, this.
So it's exactly 6 seconds. Yeah.
That's crazy. After everything has gone on, oh my gosh, like within 6 seconds of each other, Matt versus Chex.
Yeah, so now we
Matt,
need to
I
go get the
think
Ether Medallion, which means another trip to Death Mountain, which means it's time for another party.
Oh yeah, Chex definitely was definitely tailgating. Luckily though, he did not, you know, I guess pre-game too much. We are still in the safety and solace of upper. Oh my god, my heart. I can't watch Chex anymore. Yeah, Matt. I mean, well, okay.
Did he
the
get
end
the
result? Oh, did he get the quick?
Sick. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. End result is that Matt and Chex both have full health. All right. We just have to survive 1 crab screen on Ice Rod Cave, and then we are good to go to do the full speed on full press in Mire 2. This is the most anxiety-inducing screen, I believe, when Matt was going for his 124 grind, because this screen just is terrible. Okay, you know what? We killed all the crabs. That's all that matters.
Shoutouts to Andy, guys.
Oh, this isn't rando. Oh, but yes, Andy, quite infamous here for the pugs. Matt, by the way, also was on the pugs in the last rando season, so you know, hopefully, you know, he got only the benefits out of that pug team and not, you know, the part of the curse as well for Ice Rock Cave screen.
One can only hope.
Alright, Chex. I don't know, dude. Man, I know. Okay, I did hear it's faster. You're supposed to like slash, you know, run back and forth, you know, to meet the bird. And I don't know. Every single time we cut up grass, I just feel like there's like another chance to get a bomb or a guard. And these guys, I just feel like these guys are so brave every single time they do this.
Yeah, you could, in theory, to answer a question in chat about the shopping route, you could, in theory, just get Ether in Mire and then save Ice Rod for the Turtle Rock split. Usually the reason that we don't is because getting Ether is an inherently dangerous proposition, and we want health for this screen right here that Matt's in, known as Mire 2, where we really like having sword beams to clear the room out quickly. Matt does a pretty darn good job there. Chex gets... okay, that was also very good for the RNG.
Yeah, it was definitely good cleanup. Yeah, it was good cleanup on Chex's side.
And if you do happen to like take a hit, right? Remember everything, the cabbages, the dead rocks, all of those things do 1 heart of damage. So we get Ether, and then we go to the Ice Rod Cave so that we can attempt to farm a heart drop from the crabs if we need it to try and save that screen. That's the main reason that we lump them together like that. The alternative, like the primary alternative that people do, is they get Ether in Swamp where the health doesn't matter as much, and then Ice Rod in TR, so that you're just like minimizing things that can cause you to enter Mire without sword beams.
Yeah.
And then also, again, like the menuing, like having the Ice Rod there does change like the menu at the start of the dungeon, where you have to menu from Ether Medallion to Fire Rod, and so you got an extra thing in the way. But those are the main considerations. They're essentially even.
The added benefit, Yeah, I was even thinking like the added benefit of having sword beams, right? It means that you're also at full health. Well, the fact that you have sword beams, right? You can also clear out the popos and the wizrobes, right? Like you do with the fire rod. Magic is probably not going to be too big of a concern, but man, that burning animation takes forever, like forever. So, and the sword beams don't have that repercussion.
Yeah, it's I mean, there's things, even if you're like missing a heart, there's things you can do. You can try and kill the first wizrobe you encounter early to see if he'll drop a heart for you, and then you can just do the strat as normal. We call that one, we affectionately call that strat Praise Duck, because Apathy Duck was the one that popularized it.
I see. All right, Matt actually had a really nice Mire dungeon so far. Even had full health going in to try and people gamble. His luck with the spark did not quite work out. That's why we see the one heart missing.
Yeah, that's usually intentional. Like, you can try and finagle the frame rule, but usually you just expect to like take the damage there. Wow, super brazen on that wizrobe there. I only do that in 100%. Because you don't have a hook shot, so like that is the fastest way to get through the room without it.
Yeah. So I'm actually not sure how much kind of like Matt keeps tabs on his opponent. I think he maybe checks in every once in a while, but definitely not a very active person. I don't even think he listens to the restream or watches the restream or anything like that. So I don't know if he's feeling like great, bad, good about his run so far. Probably wasn't necessarily so pleased about maybe like how some other things like pod win, but I mean he's definitely been gaming quite well like for like the rest of the Dark World, kind of after that.
He doesn't know he calls it.
That's actually probably correct. I don't actually know how much he also like listens to this stuff back. Yeah, we can maybe what
you're gonna get a talking to later on.
Maybe we won't have to mention this detail for the first 35 minutes.
It's
all right.
It's probably fine. We didn't talk about Spooky.
That's
it's
yeah.
Okay.
We
just
did not.
Don't worry. Just,
oh no.
Things happen.
Check said health. Do we need to? Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. Walk away.
Everything is fine. We did a very good demonstration of Vitreous on Matt's side. Chex had a little bit more of impromptu party, but Vitreous is dead.
Yeah, Matt extends his lead a little bit, but remember, like, the great equalizer could be Turtle Rock, because Matt has to do this. It is Matt, right? That does not have a fairy drop?
Is that a trick question, your Rock?
No, I'm trying to...
was that...
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure.
It is Matt, not Max. Because I'm pretty sure at the time it was Max who didn't have the fairy drop, because I think I was still calling Matt Max and Agatower. But yes, it is Matt who saw both the heart and the fairy in Agatower, because he did not have sword beams going into the first couple of rooms, which is really unfortunate. It's all the Dead Rock's fault on Death Mountain.
It really is.
Oh.
Perfect.
Well, speaking of though, we are going on to Waffle House's drive-through. One of Matt's original Rando League team names. And hopefully in this case, just get.
The Dead Rock is just like not.
I hate this room. God. We're not playing Mario, okay? Everything.
This is not okay.
5 hearts of damage.
All right, so we're probably mirroring out of.
Oh my gosh. 6 hearts of damage. Oh my gosh. 7 hearts of damage. Okay, all right. I'm scared. I'm very scared. Especially, yeah, this is kind of like adding insult into injury too.
Yeah, there goes the 7. There goes the 7 that you can realistically expect to have missing after crystal rollers. So I will not be surprised if Matt decides to just grab this fairy instead. That also works.
Okay, and it's a very pragmatic decision here. I mean, normally that screw doesn't go that badly. I guess.
Done yet. I'm sorry. This
just gives him. It's just more justification than he got the fairy. The first time. Chances are he does not think that he's gonna get the fairy. Get the fairy here in Turtle Rock. Probably not gonna get the wraparound prize pack. And so going into Turtle Rock with not a lot of health. I mean. It said before that Link in general in this speedrun is just like a glass cannon, right? And you might think you have 13 hearts now. That's a ton of health, which it's not nothing. But when everything does 4 hearts of damage, again, you only probably can take 2 or 3 hits before things kind of really start to, shake.
Yeah, if you don't have Sync Heart in this dungeon, it is
Mhm.
only 2 hits before you start having problems, and that's assuming everything goes according to plan. You get through this section right here where we damage boost through a crystal roller, and then you get your fairy drop again, and you go back to full health. But like, then you're only at 12, 13 hearts, and it's still, you're just as fragile as the beginning of the game, essentially. All right, nice job on that side. Taking no chances, just walking it out.
Yeah, I'm really glad to see that. Again, like if that was part of his fairy investment, to get it from like the bonk rocks right outside the dungeon, which I mean, at this point, if you're basically going to do that, then you can at least be able to afford that. And as you mentioned before, right? Like just getting the fairy, from these pokies does kind of help things a bit, makes things a little bit, relieves the pressure. But still at the end, if you don't have it, as long as you don't get hit, you should be fine. Chomps
All right,
are
this is
not
fine.
friendly. Okay. This is less fine.
Chex says Chomp's even less so.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the good news, we did not get hit. That Chomps can definitely, there are 2 Chomps can get you a 1-2 combo, and again,
Oh, it's brutal.
yes.
It's amazing watching your health just evaporate.
Mhm.
Chex did get hit, so we're both we're basically even at this point.
Yeah, and Chexhuman, of course, did get his fairy from Poke 1, so he's probably not going to expect too much more health.
Can't believe we're on the same ammo count.
Yeah.
How does this keep happening?
Where did Matt get an extra bomb?
Oh
no, Chex!
Oh gosh,
Oh, no,
that's not good.
Chex. Run.
Yeah, definitely grab that magic while we have to deal with this. Alright, not too bad.
Dude. That was actually
Although
pretty good recovery.
we did take a hit from the laser or something.
I was impressed by the way the Chex actually killed the Pokey, because honestly, he was just slashing, and I don't know if that was like panic slashing or he was actually planning that, but the fact that Pokey died relatively quickly was pretty good.
I think it was pretty smart to try and keep it from going up into the top half of the room. That's like the worst fate imaginable. Nice pokies on Matt's side.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, talk about actually like blessed RNG, right? One of the 16 combinations is actually favorable. Saves actually a good amount of seconds too. Basically,
Yeah.
double kill, and then you can just start running, to the right side.
Yeah, Chex gets the second best one.
I'm scared.
We're fine. We have enough health to complete the dungeon.
I have full faith and confidence in Chexhuman's ability. The good news is that Max is still in the background cheering.
And bonk here. Yeah. Very, very acceptable backups.
What are you supposed to do in this room with a conveyor belt? Because I think you can take damage, right?
You just don't mess up and take the one.
I see.
Especially being what?
I'm so nervous.
Close to 12 seconds behind at this point. Like you just do it. Kill the Helma, that's nice. That's lucky. Do the thing, do the block push there. Yeah, everything's fine.
Nerves of steel. Nerves of Chexhuman steel, man. This is quite scary a situation on Chex's side. 1 heart, basically one hit KO. But I mean, like if you do the regular strats, like you're not supposed to take any damage. So I mean, the fact that Chex is still going for it, just confidence abilities.
I respect the getting the heart pot there, because there are hitboxes in this fight that you can just randomly like take one. Not randomly, but
Yeah,
it's better to have some margin.
That's right. So
no
I think
margin at all.
Yeah, you can just see a Matt pretty brave. The fact that he could take a hit, could actually basically face Trinex phase 2 head on, literally. It's because if he takes a hit, then it's only 4 hearts of damage, and he's still alive. Chex can take 1 heart of damage from the body, not the head. But I wouldn't blame him at all if he just wants to play a little safe.
Yeah, just get out of there. Don't risk anything. We don't need to be flashy here.
That's right.
We got the entirety of GT to try and make up some time. Yeah, it's not just the body; it's also the spikes. If you randomly accidentally recoil yourself
actually,
into
you know
them.
what? That actually has happened. The fact that like obviously Matt and Chex, right? Both very consistent, very well practiced. A lot of these fights. Sometimes it doesn't actually really matter necessarily like how many times you do it. If there's ever like an errant run, especially during a race situation, because how often have you heard, man, this has never happened to me before, right? In a race setting.
Yeah.
You
I did that just this week. I did that just this week, Shady. I messed up the one cycle, and because I was feeling glib and spunky, I decided to like bonk off of the spikes when Trinex did the lunge attack. And if you don't get the one cycle while the other head is still exploding, the spikes have a hitbox again, so you just take damage.
Wow. Okay.
I learned that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't actually know if also those Lionels were just bad RNG or something, or it was just, I don't know, Chex, the text box. Yeah, but Chex ended up getting kind of nicked by one of the Lionel's fireballs. Normally, you really don't actually see that happening, but I guess it kind of happened this time. Being down 2 hearts, I mean, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We have 14 hearts going to GT. It is actually quite the challenge in terms of execution, and certainly you want to have as much health as you can, especially going up the gauntlet. There's probably gonna, like fast strats for the very first room, for example, right? Would probably cost you 3 hearts if you really wanted to, but. It's okay,
Yeah,
health is meant to be spent here.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of leeway.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe don't be so brazen so that you have to then waste a bunch of time at the end of the dungeon.
Yeah. And obviously, like the more health you have, right, going into Agatu, going into Ganon, just gives you that much more sense of comfort, right?
Mm-hmm. Chex does apparently get Torch Key. There are 3 options for the final key that you need to open the last door to Moldorm 2 in this route. The first is that Torch Key. The second is the key held by one of the mini Helmosaurs in the room before the bottom of the wall. And then the third is the chest in the room after that. They all have their various pros and cons. The mini helmet key being the absolute fastest, but the most optimal strat involves taking intentional damage by walking over spikes, and having to do a little bit of weirdness in the following room to get the full magic refill if you want it. The Torch Key is the slowest, but makes the rest of the dungeon really nice, where you just skip the helmet key and the other key entirely, and there's a nice like backup strat where you can still get the magic and dodge the spark.
Yeah, it certainly seems very safe, right?
Yeah, it's
very reliable.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, nice, just enough arrows.
Yeah, very well planned. Matt also notably skipped the arrows here in the big key chest room. He just basically he's climbing.
We got the 10 drop though. It's fine.
Yeah,
no problems. I think Matt plans for that. I've heard him say like the way that he does his strats, he ends up on the 10 drop more often than not.
Oh, nice.
And so like he plans for that 10 drop.
It is actually really cool. I mean, like, even though like the route itself, right, is quite optimized, just in terms of everything, right, movement, resource management as well. There is also a little bit of leeway. You can get backups to try and plan on killing whatever. And Matt is very, very conscious. Thinks about his resources a lot. You definitely hear that a lot when he self-commentates his runs.
Oh goodness! All right, cool, nice arrow. Yeah, coming into the gauntlet here is one of the more impressive sections when done well. Just getting through these rooms, not losing time to weird enemy patterns, and there's hazards that can get in your way and knock you out of like your intended strat going through the room.
Yeah.
Matt did a great job doing it. Chex is also making his way
Yeah, and honestly, like the bow is actually really powerful here. I mean, sometimes, you know, like depending on how the mimics go, how your ice armor stuff goes, you can actually kind of be a little low on arrows, you know, but and we just have a couple of ones to use in the gauntlet. Really can help things, you know, control the movement of, you know, even some of the worst RNGs you can get.
Very good Lambo fight.
Yeah, both great Lambos actually on Chex and Matt's side.
Matt is most of a floor ahead now. So, this race is not over though, because we still have the Aghanim fight, and we still have, oh boy, just throw the pot. Everything's fine.
Ganon is.
Yeah, we still have the Ganon fight as well. And warps
Ganon.
can definitely, when a race is this close, like that can definitely be the decider.
And also,
just a few more screens before we get there.
Yeah. But I mean, also, like we're kind of coming down. These guys been playing for, you know, hour and 20, you know, and change at this point, right? I know these guys have, you know, been through, you know, the hoops like this before, but I don't really think race nerves necessarily get, you know, that much better. You know, things can happen. You know, when you least expect it sometimes.
Oh sure. Yeah, I'm not implying that it's easy. We do. I'm mostly putting myself in their shoes, and that's what I'm telling myself when I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's just like 3 more screens, bro. It's fine. Just
very fair.
It's just a Moldorm.
It's just a Moldorm. Surely nothing can go wrong on Moldorm. All right, nice hookshot strat there on Chex's side, just so we can kind of stabilize ourselves in order to go get the spin. And yeah, and to answer your question, right, so none of the RNGs are kind of shared. So these are basically 2 completely separate games that, you know, that they're playing. So I guess maybe as a possibility,
yeah, the RNG,
you know, as a coincidence,
RNG,
yeah.
The fixed RNG that you see in rando races is a device that they use to try and eliminate more elements of chance from what is already essentially a heavy, like high variance racing mode.
Wow. So, you know, Chex gave us a little, you know, preview for what maybe potentially was going on here in Aga 2. So Matt got a, you know, pretty typical, you know, standard 3-3.
Snazzy 2-cycle.
And like Chex's patterns for Aga 2 were just, oh, so comfy. Hilarious. Oh, and just like that, we are within, I don't know.
Neck and neck. Yeah, we're within like a couple of Ganon warps here.
Ganon warps, maybe 1 missed spin, you know, on Silverless Ganon for one of the hits. I mean, this seems, man, super close.
Essentially an extra Ganon warp, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, we're both starting phase 1 and 2. So with Tempered Sword, looks like Matt did get the 1-1, so no extra stuff here for Ganon for phase 2. Chex looks like he is definitely on pace for the same thing. Alright, now let the warps begin. This is super close. The entirety of this race too. Oh my gosh, you know, trades, you know, leads have been swapped.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I think I counted 2 warps on Matt's side and 0 on Chex's side.
Oh my gosh, dude. Suddenly we are literally within one spin between them?
Yeah, I think if Matt misses a spin, then Chex can win this race.
Yeah, Chex's torch glaze also, Mal was pointing this out, it was really scary. Like, I was a bit worried, but he definitely got the backup. But holy cow.
You love to see it.
Phase 4 matters. Just PSA
right.
out there. If you ever think that, you know, like you didn't ever have it come down to the end, that is 1 spin, silverless spin difference between Chex and Matt. But assuming Matt walks across, get your G's in chat for Matt. I'm gonna take this first place run within a few seconds, and Chex coming in fast 2nd place. What a race. Holy cow.
Insane.
Wow.
That was fantastic.
Was this really within 1 second?
Yeah. I see a difference of
Wow.
yeah, about a second and a half. Really, really nice job. Both of these runners.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, we are also joined here by
We're joined by a muted
1 second
Matt.
victor.
Welcome in, Matt. Hello.
Yo, Matt. GG's.
Thank you for the GG's. What that was very close, I guess.
That was intense.
Were you watching at all? Like,
So
you check
I
in at
was-
all?
I was listening to the commentary, and then I looked after I killed Agatu. I looked, and I was like, "Okay, I'm like 12 seconds ahead. I can probably maybe do a lamp torch glitch if I'm feeling it." And then I hear, "Wow, that was a comfy pattern for Chex and Agatu." And I was like, "Oh my God, 0 warps for Chex!" Like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna go for it as much as we can on Ganon.
That was what a 2 warp fight versus a 0 warp fight, and you just snuck it out there barely. That was insane. We're also joined by Chex. GG's Chex.
Yo, Chex, GG's.
Hello.
GG, dude.
Oh my gosh, dude. Were you aware of the state of the race at all, Chex?
Yeah, I was watching.
Oh my god.
Not during Ganon, but generally watching.
I mean, you got exactly what you needed.
I golded Ganon.
You did gold Ganon. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah. It was not very, let's say, consistent or secure or reliable, maybe, is what I was going to say. Because I don't really know where to shoot the fire rod to get torch glitch in the middle.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a little.
Because you
it's
definitely
a little
nailed
weird.
it.
It gets a little squirrely once you're if you're not standing right next to it.
Yeah. So I said I'm just gonna shoot 2 shots, and the second one just barely got it.
Just YOLO, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, I've been meaning to do a little bit of research on the Ganon fight to expound on the stuff that Fox has put out there into the world, and like things like, is it sometimes beneficial to do, because it's possible, right? If you are very intentional about your magic usage, it's possible to do a fight without torch glitch and essentially not lose time. And then compared to like some of the RNGs, right, where you end up with like a mid-screen cape spin, it could potentially save time, depending on how comfortable you are with like blue Ganon spins and stuff like that. But that's a treatise for another day, and I need to do a lot of like supporting research to back that claim up. But like,
yeah, that would be a good highlight for sure. And
if you're just gonna do like in a race scenario like this, you don't want to have to like rely on that, especially if you're not comfortable with like the timings of the torchlight, and you essentially can't miss. So like that's like doing what you did is just like right out. There's a lot that goes into that fight. So, but good job keeping it like you did exactly what you needed to do and saved all the time that you could.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see. It's crazy to see the game come down to literally that. I mean, we saw that not last season. I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago when Doomtap and Eri were neck and neck, like just going into the fight with all of the same. And Doomtap was like half a warp behind, and got like 2 cape spins and won the race. And we're all like, "What? How does that happen?"
Well, the no torch glitch fight looks kind of fun and challenging, so I'll have to try it sometime.
I part of what I'm going to put together is like, everybody should practice this, because then it'll just make all of your normal fights a lot less daunting. If you can do the fight without losing time lighting literally twice as many torches, then lighting only 1 torch should be kind of a walk in the park. But let's talk about the race. What did you guys have anything in particular that stood out to you that you wanted to rehash?
How's that Waffle House, Max?
Yeah, well,
Nice name change. Thank you. You make me feel so much better.
When you don't have your fairy in TR, the main strategy is to take 7 hearts of damage on the overworld. That's really, the best way to do it, in my mind. So I pretty much did exactly what I was trying to do there.
That's impressive that you got the maximum benefit out of the bonk fairy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. The run was fine. Like, I knew I was behind after pod because I was listening, and the mid game was pretty good. Everything after pod was okay except for TR. So, like, 55-30 Dark World is fine. I mean, it's a race. What can you do? It's not that bad.
Yeah, for sure. I like we said, you had a little bit of some hiccups in pod. You were 3 or 4 seconds behind leaving Light World. Had some hiccups in pod, but you just ran a really solid mid game and even like early end game, and ended up a little bit ahead. Come Meyer and the start of TR. Checks how we saw some I'll call them shenanigans on your side. How other than almost dying in a couple of spots, it felt like you kept it reasonably close.
Yeah. I'm not feeling 100%, so it was a slight struggle to keep it together, but I thought I did fine otherwise. I was present for almost everything except for the issue where I hopped a ledge in Swamp Palace and then put myself in Hera state, where you just get early hookshot. But that's not what I... So, yeah, that was a mistake, and then I got distracted and didn't mash the text box after I got hit by a Lionel. So probably lost 5 seconds before even getting into Ganon's tower. But otherwise, like I said, I held it together. So fairly solid run. Glad to get at 125 in League. And Matt played really well. And I was watching all along, and I noticed that I got really good RNG for a lot of this race. As I walked through the overworld of Hera and Turtle Rock, and then we had Agatu line up, and then Zero Warps. So I'm pretty psyched about that.
Yeah, I think altogether it was a nice blend of like different things, culminating in a exceptionally tight race. Like I had a feeling that as long as Matt didn't make a mistake on phase 4 and miss a spin, then like this, he was almost not guaranteed, right? But like he was in the commanding position, and then I looked over, I saw in the race time room he finished, and then I looked back again and you had also finished. I'm like, oh, okay, that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
so,
I thought I'd screwed it up because I had that one spin on the bottom where I mispositioned myself and I was too close to the torch, and I thought because I knew exactly what was happening because you guys described it really well, like how it was one spin away, and I was like, I'm missing this spin, and then I just got it, and I was like, oh, I think that might save me.
Yeah, it was impressive to see both of you come down to the wire like that. It's really this is what we like about doing league races, right? Like seeing this game put on display like this, and seeing really close races, and it's exciting to partake in and watch and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it was super tight. I mean, leads traded definitely back and forth, and also just even from like last season, I think just watching you guys kind of like progress, right, and get better, steadily. Like it's just really cool, like really awesome to see. You guys are also within like 1 minute of your PBs in a race setting like this. I mean, runs definitely went well.
Hard to complain about. Good 125s.
Oh,
yeah, I knew it was going to be like super close. Like Jex can beat me on my best day, so it's like you just go for it and hope for the best. And I'm just happy it was a good race.
It was very, very much a good race. Thank you guys so much for playing tonight. Very friendly U.S. Eastern time zone time.
Yeah, and thank you so much for commentary. I actually did listen. The first time I've actually listened to the commentary while racing, and I very much enjoyed it.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Had fun doing it. Would do again. I don't have anything more
Thanks,
other
both.
than
and-
other than to say thank you to everybody.
That was a lot of fun, and thanks, CSR. GG, Matt.
GG's, dude.
Yeah, so that'll be it for us tonight. Over on Meowski's channel, he's doing. Oh gosh. He's doing Coin Chaser versus Retromel. We'll go say hi there, and stay tuned for more League. We got a lot coming up this weekend, and we're just getting started. We still got 2 more weeks. So stay tuned for all that. Just thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the future.
Good night, everybody.